Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley far below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath a stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own. Go ahead and hit your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat your friend. Do it in the name of heaven, justified in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day, on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away.
Good afternoon, Officer Berto from Randolph. How you doing, sir?
Yes, hello, how are you? What's
Good,
the problem today, sir?
Well, you're doing
What's the problem?
47 and a 25.
No, I wasn't.
So, can I see your license, registration, proof of
Yeah,
insurance?
before I do that, what do you think of God here in our modern day with blatant
Listen,
scientific
can
evidence?
I have your license?
Yes, of course you can, but
Okay,
am
thank
I-
you.
is
I'm
it-
not going to answer any question like that. I'm on a traffic stop, so okay.
Is it against the law for me to talk about the greatest scientific
No,
evidence
it's
ever?
not. But right now we're conducting.
Is it my fault that they sent me the wrong license plate? Is it my fault? Answer the question. That's what they're going to ask you in court.
Mr. Popham, do you have proof of insurance for that vehicle, please?
Yeah, I gave it to you.
No, you didn't give it to me. You
Oh,
took
hold
it
on,
back.
I have it anyway.
Okay, sounds good. Can I have it, please?
Is getting a traffic ticket worse than vandalism?
I don't know. It depends who you are and what's the
No,
reason
it's
for.
like if someone comes in your house and purposely destroys it, is that a worse crime than getting pulled over for going 10 miles over the speed limit? How
actually-
about if someone shoots at you? Is that a worse crime?
Yes.
So how come when people shoot at me and when people destroy my house, you poLICE do nothing?
Okay,
And
well, so I don't know.
pooper troopers do nothing?
I-
Why? Why do you do
Can I
that
see
to
your
me?
proof of insurance?
Why don't you do anything to the criminals? Why? Is this considered harassment? Is this considered harassment?
Can you please
Yeah, of course
give me
you
your
can.
insurance?
Have
Thank
you ever heard of anything more disgusting than you guys do nothing when some criminals do shit to my house?
Okay, I'm gonna
How about
ask
when
you
you
again
run
the
over
last
all
time.
my
Could
flowers?
I see your
Yeah, you can. Of course you can.
insurance, please?
Of course you
Thank
can.
you.
And then is it going to make you angry that I have it? How mad are you going to get when I have that? Can you explain that to
I'm
everybody?
out of what?
How angry are you going to get when I show it to you?
I'm not going to be.
How miserable are you going to get when I show it to
Okay,
you?
well, if you don't show it to me, okay, I'll give you a warning, and you're going to have to show it within 15 days.
Well,
Otherwise,
I'm
you're
gonna
going to get a ticket.
I'm going to show it to you now.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect.
Wow,
I'm
Capone.
waiting for it. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
The plate that you have currently on your vehicle is a trailer plate, so not a vehicle plate.
Yeah, but is that my fault
And
that that's what
but-
they sent me?
But it's not even yours. So.
But is that my fault
Can
that-
you listen to me?
Yeah, but
So
is
this
that
is
my
what's going
fault?
to happen. You're getting the violation for the speed, okay?
Yeah.
And you're also getting the no registration and plate not assigned. So
Yeah,
what's
but is
gonna
that my
happen-
fault when they
what's
sent that to
gonna-
me in the mail?
What's going to happen is I'm going to take the plate, okay? Take off the plate,
Yeah.
okay? And you can't drive the vehicle on a roadway because it's not, again, it's
But is
not
that my
registered.
fault that they sent it to me?
Well, it is your fault that you don't have a vehicle that's
Is that my
registered,
fault?
and
Answer
then
the
you're
question.
using-
Answer the
Yeah,
question.
I
Is
just
that
did.
my
I just
fault?
did.
Answer the question.
what's gonna
It's
happen-
a common sense question.
Listen.
Is it my fault that the DMV sent me that plate? Yes or no?
Okay. What I'm gonna
Answer
do
the
is
question. Don't ignore the question.
I'm going to take
Because
the plates
the-
from your vehicle.
Answer
okay?
the question. What?
Please stand here.
Answer the question. All right, answer the question. Can you answer the question? Answer the question. Is it my fault that the DMV sent me that license, what's it called? License plate.
License plate, but it's not yours, so it doesn't go.
Yeah,
on the
but is it
vehicle.
my fault that they sent me that? How do I know?
I don't know.
Even when I put it on, when I was at the car, when I got my tires put on,
Yeah.
and while the guy was putting my tires on, I got that in the mail and I put it on and I was asking him, how come they only sent me one plate? Is it a new law now that you only have to have one plate?
This is an old plate. It hasn't been sent
What?
recently or anything like that.
I got that in the mail from them.
Okay,
Brand new.
When did
This
you get
year.
It? When did you get it?
This year. when I came back from whatchamacallit, Dominican Republic.
Okay. Does he have a front plate? Can we just...
So I'm asking you again, is it my fault that DMV sent me that?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you, is it my fault that DMV sent me that?
I don't know what.
No, but I'm telling you the truth. If the DMV sent me that in the mail, which they did, is it my fault or their fault?
It's your fault. You're running
It's
it on.
my fault.
You're running it
So
on
it's
your
my fault that the DMV sent me. In other words, how do I know that if the plate they sent me is wrong or right?
So, Mr. Talpin,
Yeah.
so which towing service would you like to tow your vehicle? Because it can't be on the roadway because it's not registered.
Your Honor, look what they're doing to me. So how much is this for discrimination and harassment?
Okay.
In other words, look, Your Honor, why won't they answer the question? Because they know.
There's your driver license. Okay, and there's 3 violations. The first one is for your speed. Can you not put that in my face? You can record me, okay? That's fine. I don't have any problem, okay? So pink copy is for your record. White copy needs to be mailed within 20 days. Are you currently in the military, active duty? Okay, so I'd say it's a no from your answer. There you go.
Hey, is it against the law for me to talk about the greatest scientific evidence
No,
news ever in Vermont?
it is not.
Is it, sir? Is it again? Are you excited that God is here like
which-
never before?
which,
Children want to know the God Almighty.
which
Sure.
towing
On a
service
blatant,
you-
obvious, humanly impossible tour. Are you angry because God is here like never before?
I am not.
Who's God is channeling through? Who is God channeling through with scientific evidence?
Okay.
Who
so
is
I'm gonna
God
call the
channeling
next
through with
record.
scientific evidence? Who is God channeling through with scientific evidence? Hey, if anything happens humanly impossible to anybody, is it my fault? Can you answer that question? Huh? And so can you admit now what that says on your PO, what's it spelled?
It spells po.
POLICE.
That spells lice.
So it's
I'm not
POLICE.
arguing with you. That's your interpretation.
Exactly. No, but in other words, it says to serve and protect on most, look, protect and serve. But is this protecting and serving or harassing and offending in your humble opinion? In other words, let's call it what it is. Write the truth on your cards. You harass and offend. You don't serve and protect. In other words, when I'm shot at, do you do anything and arrest the people? No. When they come and roll over my mailbox, do you do anything? No. When you come in they come in my house and wreck my floors. Do you do anything? No. So that's harassing and offending. But then you guys send me the wrong because you work with the state. So you send me the wrong license plate, and then you arrest me for it and fucking tow my car for it because
You're not
you're
under
people.
arrest, sir.
It's a metaphor. You're towing the car.
Have a seat in your vehicle.
You're towing the
okay?
car.
Yeah, I am.
You're towing the car.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and you're saying that it's my fault, not the DMV's fault, right?
I just have a
Admit
seat.
it for the world. Say it.
Oh, I can
Say
tell you
it.
that you have the wrong plate on your
Okay, and
vehicle.
say it's my fault. It's not the DMV.
So we're gonna be
Say it's
waiting
my
for the
fault.
record.
Say it's my fault. Say it's my fault. Say it. Say it's my fault. Say it again, it's my fault. Are you embarrassed? Are you humiliated? Do you feel more than any shame? Because this is disgusting. Do you feel more than any shame? So can I leave here if you're taking my car?
Yeah, you can leave with your car.
You're gonna come on TV loud and proud and talk about this. Are you gonna come on worldwide TV loud and proud?
Go, sir. Go.
Are you proud that you're doing this? Are you proud that you're doing this? You know, I'm telling you the truth that the DMV sent me that plate. Is it my fault? Is that my fault? Just answer the question. In other words, is that a common sense question for me to ask? Officer Gardner, is that a common sense question for me to ask?
You can ask all the questions you want.
Okay,
sir.
so why don't you answer it?
I don't have to answer them, sir.
Okay, so what about him? Will you answer the question? Huh? Is it, in other words, is it my fault that they sent me that plate? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? See, Your Honor, look, obviously they're both embarrassed because they know it's not my fault. So this is the shit I gotta go through everywhere I go because I'm the skin that the one and only God Almighty has ever jumped in with blatant scientific evidence all the way from heaven. So they harass me and discriminate against me and let people smash my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mailbox over and over and over every time I put in 3 feet of cement, and they let people go and roll over all my flowers and cut them down, and they don't do anything, and they let people vandalize my home, and they don't do anything, and they let people shoot at me, and they don't do anything, and you wonder why God gets angry through the skin of Peter Palpin. So one last time, calm.
We're calm.
Do you think it's fair that the DMV sends me that in the mail? I've had it on my car for almost 7 months, ever since April when I got back here. It was brand new. It came in an envelope.
I don't know. I think
and I put it on my car. So is that, don't talk over me. Is that my fault or the DMV's fault?
I don't know. You'd have to talk to DMV because I have nothing to do with DMV. I can tell you the plate that's on there, okay, is not the plate that needs to be on the vehicle.
But how would I know that?
It's a different owner and it's for a trailer.
But how would I know that if they sent it to me?
I don't know. Call DMV and figure it out.
But I will.
If for some reason it's a DMV error, I will be glad to dismiss the ticket. I don't know. Call DMV and figure it out.
But I will.
If for some reason it's a DMV error, I will be glad to dismiss the ticket for the plate not assigned. Okay?
Yeah, but you're harassing, you're towing my car and all this.
The vehicle is not registered, okay?
Yeah, but I thought, I sent in the registration the other day.
I can tell you right now it's not registered.
So this lady, Tammy, is a real good friend of me and my brother's. She's been working at the DMV for like 20 years in Vermin, Vermont. And so as you can see, this is more evidence that she spoke to that poLICE lady.
The bloody morning after, one tin soldier rides away. So
Let's think about this. Like, my plates were all legal, everything's fine, it's registered. I showed them the registration, they dropped that part of it. So why would I put a plate to a trailer on my car when my car already had all legal plates? I just didn't think anything. I don't read anything hardly because dyslexic and ADD, but that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I just got it in the mail and I don't even know if it said my name or whose name it said on it. Because I just saw plates and I opened it up. It was addressed to my house.
I don't know. Call DMV and figure it
But
out.
I will.
If for some reason it's a DMV error, I will be glad to dismiss the ticket for the plate not assigned.
So before I came to Dominican Republic, it was just days after this ticket, and I obviously couldn't go to court. So as I've done in the past, the light has me write letters to the honest judges in Vermin, Vermont, and they've always dropped every case that the corrupt lied and tried to harass me and cause me as much mental and financial anguish as possible. So we wrote, and the light told me every line to write. I'll sit on the lie detector test over and over and over. Dear Your Honor, long story as usual, full of disgusting prejudice and fraud and discrimination and harassment and huge, for me, mental and financial anguish. I was driving into town to play tennis, and that place that goes from 40 to 20, I normally always slow down because obviously who wants to pay $300 or $200 for making a simple, not intended mistake? And I do think I did slow down in that I was not going what he said was at 44, but how can I prove it? His word against mine. But since I am, as I told him, with scientific evidence, the kindest, nicest, zero prejudice person ever, I hope you do believe me, Peter Sweeter Palpin, the one and only skin, the one and only God Almighty, has ever jumped in with blatant, obvious scientific evidence all the way from heaven. With blatant, obvious scientific evidence all the way from heaven, no matter how beyond surreal. Everybody exposed knows our unbelievable, beyond surreal story is 100% real. Look, here is what happened. My car has been registered and I showed proof. And so I think he squished that ticket as promised if I showed him evidence. And everybody it was. So he did drop that as promised. I had gotten a new plate in the mail when I got back from Dominican Republic last April. And I'm dyslexic and ADD. So I never read anything because I hate to read. You can see how slow I read. This is really how fast I read. I have good common sense, so put yourself, as I told the police, the poLICE, in my shoes and use common sense. My car has had the same always registered legal plates for years. Then a new plate comes in my mail, so I figured, oh, I guess they sent me a new license plate. And I put it on my car, and there was only one. And I have a small sports car, so I just assumed, the state wants to save money. That's smart. And use one plate versus normal two. Common sense in my head. I actually did it as the mechanic was putting my new tires on my car. So the poLICE said if I had DMV contact him to collaborate, I was telling the truth. That plate really came to my house and I didn't steal it from anyone, etc. It was just a common sense mistake of you or me. I assumed it was a new plate I'm supposed to put on the car, and I did. So the DMV lady named Tammy called and verified I was telling the truth about everything. If you don't believe me, call the DMV, ask for Tammy. She has worked there for years. So Tammy actually called there for me, as you see in our evidence. So three. So I drove for months, no problems, and even got pulled over a week before in New Hampshire for doing nothing wrong, long story. They pulled me over because they wanted me to wait there as a poLICE brought me what had been stolen, my iPad. So because I'm me and poLICE really hate me, he started saying, what about your VIN number? What about your rear lights, etc.? So I'm sure he must have looked at the plate, but he did not say anything, and I had him on video, so we realized he was being caught discriminating on me. And I do have this police on video as well, and I think that's why he did drop 2 of the ridiculous tickets. He knew obviously I was telling the truth, like I am for you. So imagine he had given me almost $1,000 of tickets, pun intended. He towed my car a mile up the road. In other words, the church is a mile up the road. And the guy just wanted to cause me mental and financial anguish and tow my car when he knew that I was telling the truth, obviously. You'll see the video. So he towed my car a mile up the road. It cost me $200. And look at my bank account. And I'm leaving to go to Dominican Republic on Monday. So I obviously cannot pay to court and explain. I cannot come to court and explain all of my not guilties. And I sent the judge what's in my bank account. It's like, some hundreds of dollars. Nothing that, these tickets would have really put a hole in me, pun intended. And would say, Your Honor, that must be a typo. Not guilties. And would say, I thought I proofed this. Your Honor, you cannot quarrel. That must be, as the light would say. Your Honor, you cannot quarrel with a moral. The poLICE knew I was telling the truth, but obviously wanted to cause me as much mental and financial anguish as possible. And so he had my car towed. So look at my bank tank, Your Honor. I know, well, I don't think you will give me the $200 back, even though morally I feel you should. But what you can do is drop the cost of the speeding ticket, and we can call it even Steven. Love-clusion, aka conclusion. Please accept all of this common sense and good faith. I do not have enough money to pay this right now, but I promise if you don't agree that my idea is fair, then I promise to pay. Please don't put a warrant out for my arrest. You can write me at thenightofthelight@gmail.com. Can be in all lowercase or uppercase, etc. And let me know your decision, or you can try calling or texting me at 802-222-0589. See my proof I'm really leaving, and my bank account and ticket, etc. Hope you understand. Kindest regards, Peter Palpin. And he's at the bank.
Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago.
Randolph Police Department.
Yes, so this is Peter Palpin. I called earlier today. Did I speak with you?
Okay, what can I help you with, sir?
Did I speak with you?
I don't know, sir. What
Do you remember speaking with Peter Palpin?
Sir, what do you need?
I'm asking you a question. Because I have to explain more if you're not the person I spoke with. The person I spoke with. The person I spoke with. Are you the person I spoke with?
I don't know, sir. I talked to a lot of people today, so...
Do you remember talking to me, P.T. Sweetie? A yes or B, no? Do you
What do you
remember
need,
speaking
sir?
with me? A yes or B, no?
Sir, if you can't tell me what you need, I'm gonna have to disconnect.
Okay, my name is Peter Palpin, chaplain of the First Love Vocational Church, perched over Randolph Center, Vermin, Vermont, run by the monsters. And so I was pulled over by poLICE about a little over 4 weeks ago. And I was speeding, but I was only going like about a few miles over the speed limit. But I was speeding, I admit that, because I wasn't focused. And so then they gave me a ticket for registration. They gave me the money back for that because I told them that it was registered. And then they said that I put the plate on my car cognitively and illegally. And they said if I had the DMV call, they would drop that ticket. And you told me they didn't drop the ticket. Or the lady I spoke with, you say it's not you, told me they didn't drop the ticket. They said if the poLICE never called me back, then that means he's not dropping the ticket. But I can play you him speaking to me because I videoed the whole thing. And he told me if the DMV calls that he would drop the ticket. Do you need me to play that for you, miss?
No, sir. So we have no control over that. If the officer doesn't dismiss the ticket, that's his prerogative to do. You opened a letter and plates that were addressed to somebody else and put them on your vehicle.
Well, it was sent to me, and I didn't even read anything. I'm dyslexic.
Okay, that's not our fault.
I put it on my vehicle.
The mail that was sent to your address.
Well, if you got a license plate in your mail, would you think it was yours, or would you think it was someone else's?
I would check the name on it because if I wasn't expecting a license plate, I would try to figure out what was going on.
Well, I was excited to get a new license plate, and I didn't even bother to
Well,
do
the
that.
DMV doesn't just hand out plates, sir. So if the officer doesn't want to dismiss it, it is his prerogative to do so. You have the choice to
So
write
then
the ticket
I'm going to
and
play you
prove
right.
to them,
I'm going to
prove
play.
to the state why you put a plate on a car that didn't belong to it.
I explained. I'm gonna. I already sent the whole story to the judge.
Okay, so then we will
So
wait
when
for
he drops it, are you going to come and sue? When he drops it, are you going to commit suicide? When he drops it, are you going to commit suicide? Yes, when we hit the worldwide TV like nothing in the history of the world hurled and unfurled, what are you
Sir,
guys...
if you're not
what are you gonna
reporting
say?
an emergency, then I'm going to disconnect this call.
That's the biggest
Talking about
emergency in the
suicide
history
in
of the
the internet
world.
and God
What
is
are you
not
gonna-
appropriate conversations on a police emergency line.
What are you going to do and say on that day?
No, police department.
Yes, how come when people shoot at me, you guys didn't do anything?
No, police department.
Yes, how come when people vandalize my house, you do nothing?
Because you're outside the village district and it's covered by Vermont State Police. If you have an issue with that, you need to contact them.
Well, you're part of Randolph. Well, if they did shoot at me, would you do anything?
What?
If they did shoot at me, would you do anything?
I don't understand. Ditched you for what?
How come when I go to put an ad in the newspaper in your town, you don't arrest the people for not letting me put an ad in the newspaper?
Because you've never reported it, and two, that is not our
I did
prerogative.
report it. On top of that, he put his hands on me and pushed me out of the newspaper office, and I called and he did nothing. Why? Explain to the world, hurled and unfurled.
Yeah, what is that number?
409-7162.
All right, let me take a look here. So it looks like there was a ticket issued by an officer, and then the ticket was subsequently dismissed. So that notice was to indicate that the officer dismissed the citation.
Did the judge do it or the officer?
Yeah, so the officer dismissed it, and then the judge, within the court, they disposed of the ticket. So the ticket was dismissed
What ticket
as a
is
result
it?
of the issuing officer dismissing.
Can you
It
tell
looks
me
like
what
it was
ticket
a ticket that was issued. Yeah, so it looks like it was issued October 15th
Was that the one where I wrote a letter to the
of this year.
judge? Was that the one I wrote a letter to the judge, and there was like, they were charging me $200 fine for speeding, and I told the judge about all the corruption by the poLICE, and I said, you can't quarrel with the moral as the one only God Almighty says down here like never before, to settle the one only God Almighty score. So do you A, agree or disagree with me, Your Honor? And if so, just write me a letter letting me know that we're even Steven, meaning that you're gonna not force me to pay the $200 because I was so corruptly treated. So is there still more of that ticket going on, or is that all done?
It looks like we did receive a ticket from you a letter from you on the 30th, but it looks like the ticket was dismissed prior to that. So it's the same ticket, but there's no charge and the ticket had been dismissed.
No, so then, because the $200 had to be read by the judge, that wasn't up to the poLICE man. The poLICE man wanted me to fly because I called the poLICE department the other day, and they told me, and I recorded it for court because I'm going to sue them in civil court because the lady told me that, look, we never called you because the police officer wants you to have to pay the fine. He doesn't accept the fact that that you were telling the truth, and even though the motor vehicle department of Vermont called us and told us that you were telling the truth, the police officer isn't going to drop the ticket. So then I called my friend to check my mail, and I got this in the mail, and I thought that because I think the judge is a God Almighty lover and knows that how corruptly I'm treated, they shoot at me, they drive my flowers over, they come in my house and destroy my floors, and the poLICE and the people scoopers don't do anything.
So the
What do you think about that?
The ticket was The ticket was dismissed by the officer even prior to that. So it was issued the 15th. The officer filed an amendment dismissal form. So they dismissed the ticket, and then the judge granted that dismissal. So you don't owe any balance, and the ticket was dismissed.
Also, I guess the light put so much pain in the poLICE that he didn't want he wanted the pain to stop. So he tossed the ticket because the pain is unbearable. That's what happened. Would you A, agree or B, disagree?
Well, I can only speak on what I'm seeing here in the case file.
Well, that's obvious because the police
privy to
wanted
what
me to
took place.
try. I have the whole thing on video, and he, discriminated. He had my car towed, and it cost me $200, and then the speeding ticket was $200. So I told the judge in the letter it's not fair because he didn't have to have my car towed when he knew I was telling the truth, obviously. So, look, I was speeding. So just let's call it even Steven because I was treated so disgustingly and corruptly. So the judge agreed with me, obviously. So the judge must have talked it over with the poLICE. So now I'm going to call the poLICE and tease him. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, my dear.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise you to, tease anyone, but certainly have a good day.
Is it against the law to tease the sleaze? Is it against the law to tease the sleaze? I'm doing a documentary on it. That's the best part of the documentary that we won. So that's the tease in it. You know what I mean? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Yes, hello. This is the Randolph poLICE.
Randolph Police Department, can I help you?
Yes, is Rosemary there?
This is?
Oh, I spoke with you last week, and you told me the poLICE man, it wasn't going to drop the ticket, and so I was going to have to pay the fine. He would have called me.
Yep.
You fixed it, right?
Yes.
So, I have some news for you. I hope you don't commit suicide over it, but I wrote a letter to the judge and told him how corrupt you were and how disgusting and despicable and deplorable and horrible. And the judge dropped the whole thing. So who won? Me, sweet the pizza power bun.
Okay, well, we haven't noticed that,
corrupt police.
thank you.
Who won?
He wrote a letter to the judge telling him how corrupt I am, and the judge dropped everything. And he hopes I don't commit suicide over it. Police Department.
Yes, I overheard you. You forgot to hang up, and you explained the situation wrong. You weren't the only one corrupt. It was the poLICE man that was corrupt. You told me you didn't want to drop the ticket, and so...
Well, sir, that's his prerogative. You opened mail that wasn't addressed to you and put on a plate that didn't belong to you.
Then how come the judge agreed with me?
Okay, well, when we receive notice from the judge, I will pass it on to that officer. But
And how come the judge also agreed with me that I was treated so corruptly? I explained to the judge, I go, it's $200 for the ticket, and I go, I was speeding, but I wasn't speeding as much as he said, but I was speeding. But I go, the guy towed my car and he knew I was telling the truth. It was common sense. So let's call it even Steven, because the light says down here, you cannot quarrel with a moral judge. And he dropped the whole thing.
Okay, all right. Well, we will wait to receive that notice from the judge.
Well, would you like, I could give you the claim number and you could find out for yourself. You just have to call down there and they'll tell you, we won. We won. Thrown out. All of it thrown out. Are you angry? What?
They will have to send us a letter, and we will wait for that letter.
I got the letter. You want a copy of it?
They have to send it to us.
Well, it doesn't matter. I got the letter, and I just talked to the court, and the lady was sticking up for you. She was so angry and pissed. She lied, which we'll play in court, and she said the police already knows, and he dropped the case. And I go, the police didn't drop the case, the judge did. And she said the police did because she was like, so embarrassed for you guys that she lied for you and said that the poLICE man dropped it. But you're telling me the poLICE man didn't drop it because you would know if the poLICE man dropped it. You said the poLICE man wants me to have to pay the whole fine. So obviously now that's called libel and slander when you lie. So I got her lying, I got you lying, and I got the poLICE man lying. So what do you think of that?
Okay.
For civil court. What do you think of
All
that?
right. Is that all, sir?
Last thing, what are you guys going to do when the worldwide media comes there and sticks a microphone in your face
All right,
to
sir.
disgrace you and debase